I was reading up on the daily rituals of different successful people in the world, right back through history. What do they do every day? What made them great? And it's very interesting, because there's these people in the world who, if you go to many countries and especially in the Western world and ask who they are, everybody knows who that person is. From Charles Dickens to Mozart to um, Leonardo da Vinci to all sorts of people who have left a mark in history, who are revered in some way and respected. And it's interesting to note, looking at their daily rituals, because it really is our daily rituals that make up who we are in this lifetime. And it's amazing because it's so simple. And I'm looking at the daily rituals of these different highly successful people, and they're not putting in any extra energy or effort than the mediocre person who lives a very average life. It's not that they're working any harder, it's just that they're just doing things differently. They're just living a different way. And that's what it comes down to. It's not like they're working double the hours of someone else, or they're putting themselves in great danger, or I don't know. Obviously, there's some people that do things like that as well, of course. But it's just what we do. Do you spend 3 hours every night watching television, or do you spend 3 hours every night reading? You can you'll get more enjoyment and fulfillment out of reading than watching TV. At the start, it might take a little bit of extra, you know, focus to do it, a bit of discipline to create the habit. And because the world and the universe is just set up that way that that the convenience, the convenient things, don't bring us a fulfilling life. But the things that are a little bit inconvenient, but actually aren't any more difficult, aren't harder, tend to bring all these amazing gifts to our lives. And so it's a very simple thing, to become great in this lifetime, to do something great, just even in doesn't even have to be in the eyes of the world, even for yourself, something that really fulfills you, and that at the end of your life you can look back and without one regret, and just going, wow, you lived a fearless life, if that's what it is, just doing what you love to do, doing, not conforming to what everybody else expects you to do, because that's the thing. That's what most people are doing. Most people are just conforming to what everybody else expects them to do, and the people that did great things, they just started doing their own thing. They didn't generally fall into the box of what was kind of expected of them. They expected something different of them, and they followed, generally they just followed their heart, they followed their highest enthusiasm, and because of it, it created amazing results. But it comes down to just their daily habits. It just comes down to the rituals that they do every day. If you see someone who's got an incredible physique, and you might envy that person, but all that person is doing is, you're doing something else while that person's doing something else. They're working out in the gym, and I don't know what you might be doing that they're not doing, but you're doing something else. But if you spend an hour working out every day, then you're going to get an incredible physique. If you see someone who's really flexible, you go, oh, I'd love to be that flexible. All it takes is an hour a day of doing flexibility work and yoga. If you see someone who's a successful author and has published loads of books, all it takes is just sitting down and writing for an hour or two every day, and it just happens. It just starts to happen. These things start to unfold in your life. Creating those new rituals. And it starts with awareness. You've got to suddenly become aware of, you can actually do it. You can create that. There's a space every day which you fill with whatever you choose. So choose again. If you're not living the life of your true potential, if you're not living from your heart, you can choose again. You can choose today, you can choose tomorrow, you can choose whenever. But wouldn't now be a good time? How about it, huh? So just write it down on paper. Look at this next 7 days. Write down on paper everything you do every day. How is your day filled? And then at the end of the week, go, okay, what could you replace it with? What's more important to you than maybe the things you've been doing? What are your highest priority action steps that you could do every day? What are your highest values that you can implement every single day? With that awareness and putting something on paper and looking what you've done throughout a week, and then going, okay, actually I'm going to do something different, and creating a new habit. It can take a bit of time. You just got to keep focused on it, keep disciplined, and once that new habit's in place, then you can't imagine living it any other way. It becomes your identity, and it's the biggest motivator in the human behavior is to be congruent with our own identity. So once you do something enough times, it becomes your identity, and then it becomes effortless. As effortless as watching the 3 hours of TV every night is maybe sitting down and reading and writing for 3 hours is just as effortless. Whenever that becomes your identity, right? But the rewards are far, far greater from not doing the things that are convenient, but doing the things that start off to seem hard, but once we get them in there, they just become who we are. And when something is who we are, then we're in flow, and then it's effortless.